All right, there's a market open right here. Looking around, pretty much everything is green. Not crazy green, just a little green, except for Tesla. Tesla's up almost 2%. Everything else is pretty flat. All of the X sectors are like 0.13, 0.03, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm loaded up on Benadryl and NyQuil last night, so be a little better. Appreciate it though. VIX is up to 1533, which is right now up 2.8%. The yields are back up just a little bit, and the bonds are down to 87 after an absolute onslaught to 89 on Friday. Crazy stuff. So, all right, 43.88 and climbing here, already out of the gate. In terms of bookmap liquidity, we have 4,400 there, 43.70, and Nasdaq has got up to 15,250 here. Liquidity shifting all over down to the 150 area. Other than that, everything is pretty high, up to the 15.3 even. Let's see. Apple is doing its thing after being down in pre-market. They have green candle. They're back up to green. Amazon's back up to flat. Microsoft rocket ship and XLF is back up to 33.88. So we don't really have any real catalyst this week. We have JPOW talking on Thursday, but it's not going to be a major event. So obviously there's going to be a little bit of shaking and baking with what he talks about, but nothing crazy. But he does talk on Thursday. Outside of that, pretty mundane week in the world of volatility. So looking through here, let me take a look at the options data. Wednesday is just opening remarks. That'll be nothing at all. Thursday is the actual speech. The IV right now is 21%. So the lowest IV we've had in about a month and a half or so. Pretty low stuff. I'll get you the YouTube link here. There you go. So this will be a fantastic week to kind of take a step back and just look at exactly what's going on here. Obviously, last week threw everyone for a loop. Even people that I know to be pretty strong bulls did very poorly last week in the last half of the week because of things went absolutely crazy. So now we need to deal with 4,300. 4,300 is going to be the main base. And I don't mean today. I mean the next 2 weeks. As long as the buyers can hold over 4,300, more specifically like 43.20 would be a better target. Once they hold over that, then we'll know that the buyers are going to flag this thing and possibly move up to 44.80, 44.70. So that's the whole theme for the day. And of course, if we reject and wipe out 4,300 with decent volume, we'll come on down. One thing to note, NASDAQ last month put on the highest volume node ever in history on the monthly chart. So October closed with historical high volume, which means the participation in the volatility is growing exponentially on NASDAQ. It's pretty interesting to go over and take a look. So, top wick right on back down. Nasal spray. I'll take a look, yeah. I pretty much have shaken all the symptoms, the body aches, the fever. All that's left now is the congestion, which is terrible. All right, top wick back down, 43.84. Taking a look at NASDAQ. That was a 238 rejection down to 216. Pretty choppy pre-market so far. Russell's down about 0.5%, so small caps are not doing so hot. The Korean stock market, man, they banned short selling, and they are rocketing. What, 8%? The market's up today? Crazy stuff. Weird that they would ban short selling. Do I got the COVID? I don't know what I got. I got something, but yeah, I heard that about that nasal spray stuff. I heard the same thing. Yeah. What's my views on prop firms? If that's what you need to, if that's your only option to drive leverage and liquidity, then by all means do it. If you've got your own funds, I'd avoid it. 15,206 here, hovering right around about that. Let's take a look at premiums. $12 at the money for puts, about $10 for calls, 21% IV, so they're about slightly higher on puts here. And the whole theme is, do we get any kind of profit taking after last week? Nearly an unprecedented weekly rally. Crazy, crazy rally. 5 days in a row. I've been in pharmacy for 20 years, so I know a couple of things. There you go. I like Trippy Mike. May have talked about it already, but what's the massive candle early this morning? That's either a misprint or some people attribute those to dark pool levels. Wonder if my 419 put will be profitable today. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Do a ton of congestion allergy spring Denny probably a lifesaver. I'll take a look. Thanks. Apple's going green. Yep. Microsoft, it looks like it's put on a bull flag. XLF, new low of the day. Banks are getting pummeled. More news of banks going under on Friday. Was it Friday or Saturday? Either one. They posted after the market that another bank is looking at failing. So it's the smaller banks are starting to really hit the pressure. How do we bet on more banks failing? You could play it against XLF. You could play it in the big bank names. KRE obviously is the regional name. You could play against that. That's going to be the first. That would be more likely to fail than it would the big banks like GS and JP Morgan and whatnot. Yeah, so we're at a positive gamma index, which is more of a pin risk than anything else. So that is something to take into consideration here. Is that all the dips are going to get bought, all the rips are going to get sold in this type of environment. Not to mention the Vanna trade is gone. They've killed the volatility so aggressively, so fast that that style of trade is now gone. From here, it's really about a strong pin risk in this area in a defined range this week. Most and all banks will fail. Will powers and all banks will go out of business. We'll see. So, obviously, they'll protect the big guys, but the regional banks will feel a lot of pressure. Yeah. Delinquencies will skyrocket, that type of thing. We had a long discussion about that last week. I think on Friday we had a discussion about that stuff. Well, and yeah. XLF is coming down, new low, right here. VIX is down to 1525. There's a 1410 pivot that I've got marked on my chart that's been used as a while. So every time we drop down into the 14 range, we tend to reject off of that to higher. This is where they start accumulating, going long volatility, and things come back off. ES is back up 43.86. Yeah, definitely. Paula, definitely. I'll try to be as interactive as I can, but I'm struggling today, people. Not gonna lie. So just bear with me today. See if we can get through this week. SPY daily chart, nasty gap. Look at all the freaking gaps on the daily chart. The daily chart down to 422 and to 431. Let's see. You posted on Twitter that the SPY had the highest weekly volume in a while, but every platform was seeing lower volume than previous 2 weeks. Why is that? Here, I'll take a look. I don't know. Let's take a look. SPY. Let's go to the weekly chart. That right there. So that's the weekly. That's the weekly candle right there. So that's showing obviously the highest volume for my calculation since March, and before that, highest volume for the buy side since back in January of 2022, under a pretty high volume. Then if you go back and look at Nasdaq, it was kind of what I was saying earlier. If you go back and look at Nasdaq, the highest volume of all time on Nasdaq on the monthly. So crazy volume. Right here. Yeah, but we might do it a early stream or something like that. Just close it up early, just kind of open the market up here. Not to mention nothing's crazy going on. All right, 43552. Interesting. I don't know why. I don't know why. Bear channels are about to break. Well, the whole name of the game is volatility. So that's what we have to keep an eye on. Is that this market is obviously incredibly volatile. Huge swings to the upside, huge swings to the downside, and we need to see where the big supports and resistance like to hold. Yeah, pretty much no data. Yeah, yeah. Gotta be here for y'all, baby. Gotta be here for y'all. SPY's coming back down a little bit, 435. Taking a look at ES. So we have a couple of different trend lines to deal with, both on the downside and upside. We have one right now we're dealing with. It's a short-term time frame, and then another one way up at 44.27. You see the sell pressure building in just a touch for 15.218. ES is coming off here as well, 43.90. What's Nvidia doing today? Keep an eye on Nvidia. They're the lone remaining earnings play coming up. Do I have a link to my watch list? I do. Yeah, I do. Let me get that for you. Copy link. There you go. All right. ES is 4381. So far, we're just maintaining this channel from, I don't know, since like 1 o'clock in the morning. We're toying right at break even, just a hair above break even here. Dude, how is that possible? Somebody posted a video of a Big Mac meal for $16 in Idaho. Is that real? Jeez Louise. Divergence between ES and NASDAQ is nasty. Yeah, there's about a 0.2%. 0.2% right here. NASDAQ is a little bit more bullish than the S&P. That's because of XLF. XLF is dropping pretty hard right now. So the banks are not doing so hot at the moment. So here we go. Hanging out 43.8250. No movement. I'll give it a few more minutes, and I'll cut it out early here so I can kind of. I don't want to subject to y'all to my mouth noises here, and then we'll see if we can come back on this afternoon, do a little something. Tech right now is super strong. If you look at Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, they're all rocketing right now. Huge green. Nasdaq is going up pretty strong. ES is um, still dropping a little bit. That's because of the banks. We've got a monthly high in 5 days. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Russell's down today. Yeah, if you are tier 2 as well, be ready. I'm most likely going to take an iron condor this week and manage that one. Did I see the dash trade that someone made 5 mil? Went from 82 cents to $10.40. Got about $500,000 worth. Yeah, he had insider information. That's ridiculous. I did not see that trade. That's ridiculous. $500,000 worth of penny stock. It's crazy. All right, a little bit more red here on ES. Still pretty slow moving. NASDAQ could give back their green. Russell's down today. Yeah, Russell's down. Not too bad, actually. It's actually down about 0.8 and making a pretty heavy move here with the open. So, really, the only major strength is once again, the top 7. I'm literally looking at the top 7 here, and they're the only green ones. So, surprise, surprise, right? And it's early. Paxlovid. We'll get rid of it in about 2 days of the 5-day course if they recently approved drug. Nice. Nice. I'll take a look into it. Thank you. Yeah, SEC won't do nothing about it. It's gonna be one of those days taking a breather. Probably, yeah. A little bit of it. Like I said, you know what? Kind of what you said earlier is that we are that spot gamma just posted. We are in the positive gamma territory now, which is more of a pin risk. Not to mention the VIX has come off, volatility is jacked, IV is already all the way back down, and the major volatility, the market has to take a breather. Now we have to conduct the next auction. To me, what was more, what to me, what happened last week was volatility play. It was a volatility play because if you go back and look, we had no accumulation, we had no bottom wick. It was literally just all red and then all of a sudden all green. We didn't get any consolidation period. We didn't get any accumulation. We didn't get any bottom wicks. It just was binary. Bam, bam. And at the same time, the VIX rolled off like 30%. Yeah, sorry about that. I was talking on YouTube. Nice little fade off the bottom. There you go. Nasdaq's coming down 15.2. ES is pinned flat 43.80. All right, 43.81. All right, so liquidity on Bookmap is pretty dang light. Tier 2. 4,400 to 4,370 is it. NASDAQ has pretty much nothing on it except this guy right here in 175. November 3rd, 82 calls. They bought 6,200 of them at 81 cents. Yeah, it's going to be a slow week. Iron Condor week. Speaking of which, let's go to November 10th and take a look. Interesting. How you guys like? How you guys like daylight savings time? I hate it. Last night it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was dark out. What are my positions? Nothing. I haven't taken a trade. 14 BPS on the 10 years since Friday. Yep, it's crazy. Forty 15 204. I don't know what put you're talking about. All right, 4,400. We have this iceberg right here at 43.90. 43.70 is down south here. Yeah, Arizona doesn't have it. Yeah, jelly. When I was 17, I loved it because I worked as a lot attendant at the grocery store pushing carts. Sunset would come in at 6:30. There you go. All right, still hanging out here at 43.80. Not a lot of movement whatsoever. VIX is not moving. XLF is starting to creep on back up here. Very, very slow day. Tesla going lower. Yeah, look at that. Meta gave it all back. Nvidia's giving it back. Microsoft and Apple are still pretty strong. Apple's way up high. No red at all. What was up with the VIX gap up this morning? After such a destruction on the VIX, that's not uncommon because the VIX got absolutely smoked. And now we're going to enter into consolidation phase with the VIX. The volatility is going to consolidate, and then they're going to start to go with a long vol trade. And once that happens, we'll see the VIX, spike back up 16, 17, 18, and they will continue to do that until we get another downside move. It'll go back up to 2022. It could be now. It could be, February or so. Go back and look at the cycles of the daily on the VIX. And, you can see a pattern. Very slow day. Very slow day. Yeah, the small caps are getting destroyed today. See, the yields are still climbing pretty hard. Coming back up there. VIX is still holding 15. ES pinned flat. All right, y'all. I'm going to hop off. Try to get this head cold under control. Not much going on here anyway. Yeah, so I will update if I take any major positions. Of course, if I take a credit spread or a debit spread, or if I take an iron condor, I'll let you know about that. But other than that, not much going on. Keep an eye on the VIX and the banks. Those are the two big things. Then, of course, the small caps, which is the outlier move today. Other than that, we'll try to come back on this afternoon if things do start picking up and I feel a little better. If not, we'll kick it off again tomorrow morning. So I appreciate y'all being patient with me. Yeah, so yeah, I'll see you in a bit. I'm out. See you.